All right, guys, what's happening? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to the People's Desk and another episode of We the People, where the people come for the truth, right? And I got Dr. Stephen Turley here for another one for you guys. You know, I like to use Dr. Stephen Turley for the videos that I like to do. And the reason why is because, well, to be quite honest with you, Dr. Stephen Turley, well, he is the schnizzle. And that's just to be honest with you, man. Like, he's awesome. And he's got a lot of inside information, his brother is a lawyer, highly intelligent lawyer. Um, he is I believe he's a constitutional law attorney for that works with the Supreme Court. I believe that's what it is. Well, anyway, so everybody was crying about these Epstein files and wanted them to come forward. And you got to understand, Trump was playing a chess move here. He's letting the people demand these files out. And the Democrats are trying to use them to make it look like it's President Trump that's the pedophile, when the whole time, well, let me let you hear it yourself and you tell me what you think.
Steve, your back porch professor. I hope you're all having a wonderful fall weekend, but I can certainly tell you who is not. And that is one Barack Hussein Obama and another very prominent Democrat. You're not going to believe this. You know, we said from the very beginning that these Epstein files are a tripwire. This is a Trump sting, right? The Democrats are walking right into a trap here set for them by President Trump. This is pretty astonishing stuff. And if he pulls this off, and it looks increasingly as if he will, this will be the single greatest political 4D chess move ever. So we've got so much going on here.
It's coming
The
at
Trump
you.
administration is dropping portion after portion of the Epstein files like literal nukes over the Democrat Party. And the latest batch to come out are emails that show that Barack Obama's inner circle had direct communications with Epstein. And Obama himself appears to have been referred to as the boss in correspondence between Epstein and a top White House lawyer, right? So
You remember when President Jimmy Carter just passed away? And you had all the presidents sitting together, including the rhinos, Republican in name only, um, George Bush Jr. And he sat with Clinton, Obama, just with all the past presidents that are still alive, right? Uh, well, if you notice, Barack Hussein Obama is the only one who came up and sat. He had the audacity, the boss had the audacity to come up and sit with President Trump. Remember, they had that one on one conversation that President Trump never let us know what it was about. And then he does some funny memes where he shows uh, Obama getting locked up in the White House. Remember? Yeah, well, that's just what it's coming down to. You're not covered under immunity for being a fucking pedophile. And we know he likes boys. Look at Mike, allegedly. I don't need him suing me. But the fact of the matter is that Barack's been gay for a long time. And him going to the Epstein Island where he thought he was going to get away with all that. Where, at one point in time, you got to remember there was an air of invincibility for the Democrats. They didn't think they was going to get caught at nothing. God always prevails. The truth shall set you free. That's why I use that. The truth needs no support. It stands on its own too. The truth shall set you free or condemn you, Barack. And there's others.
We've got another big guy connection here, right? This is very similar to what we saw with Biden and the emails, where he's getting kickbacks from the corrupt Ukrainian energy company Burisma, right? Where we learned that among all the Biden family members that were getting all their percentage of kickbacks, 10%, if I recall, was 10%, was set for the big guy, right? The term big guy was found to be used several times all throughout Hunter Biden's emails on his now infamous laptop from hell, which of course 51 so-called intelligence experts told us was nothing more than Russian disinformation, which ironically turned out to itself to be the epitome of disinformation. And every single time big guy is used throughout those emails, it clearly referred to Joe Biden. Well, we've got something very similar here with the Epstein emails with regard to Obama. And it all goes through Obama's White House counsel and one of his closest personal friends, Kathleen Rumler. She's with Goldman Sachs right now, if you didn't know that. Shows you this revolving door between big government and big business that consolidates unprecedented power and wealth in the hands of very, very few. But
Goldman Sachs, Dan Goldman, Congressman Dan Goldman.
here's what the newly released emails show. So in 2014, so this is after Epstein had already pleaded guilty to soliciting prostitution from a minor back in 2008. Catherine Rumler, one of Obama's best friends and part of his inner circle, was exchanging emails with Epstein. And these weren't casual messages. Epstein was asking her to speak to, quote, the boss about something serious.
Go balls.
So who's the boss in this situation? Well, there's only one, and it's Obama, the president of the United States. That's the only person she was working for. Now, the email chain is rather stunning. Epstein tells Rumler in this email that you need to talk to the boss. And then she responds, agreed, but I need to be prepared to say yes before I talk to him. Now, they're discussing what the emails call high risk, low risk, professional, emotional, and financial implications. Now, what that exactly is, we have no idea at this point. The emails simply don't say. But you can bet the legacy media ain't going to be asking, because it doesn't help them in their attempt to fabricate an anti-Trump narrative with Epstein. Now, this was not an isolated incident. These emails continued through 25 and 2016. So for a full 2 years, Obama's inner circle was apparently maintaining contact with this convicted sex offender. And when asked about it, Rumler gave the classic, non-denial denial, right? She basically said, well, I regret my past associations with Jeffrey, blah, blah. And Goldman Sachs is standing by her. They're saying it's a non-issue for them in terms of them employing her.
That's because half of them went there.
But there's so much more. Larry
Allegedly.
Summers, Obama's Treasury Secretary, he was also having regular conversations with Epstein.
Oh my God.
And I mean regular. And I kid you not, the email shows Summers asking Epstein for dating advice. That's in the emails.
Wow.
High-level Democrats in Obama's
What
inner
happened,
circle
bro? What I hit?
were asking Epstein, one of the single
No,
worst
no.
child sex offenders in our nation's history, for freaking
Sorry.
dating advice. I mean, you have to let this hit you. The Treasury Secretary of the United States was taking romantic counsel from a convicted sex trafficker. And it gets worse. You ready for this? The latest now is that back in 2016, Epstein wrote to the journalist Michael Wolff, and Wolff has been doing everything he possibly can to try to bring Trump down through Epstein, but he admits there's nothing there. He had a personal contact with Epstein, and Epstein was basically like, I got nothing on this Trump guy. But regardless, he did reportedly tell Wolff that Hillary was, quote, doing naughtiness with Vince, doing naughty things, implying she was having a sexual affair with Vince Foster. Now, you remember Vince Foster was deputy White House counsel under Bill Clinton, and a long-time Clinton ally going all the way back to Arkansas, and he was found dead in July in 93 from supposedly a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. So this latest revealed Epstein email suggests that Epstein believed, or he had information that Hillary and Vince were having an affair while both worked in the Clinton White House. Now, this is what I mean about the Epstein files being a tripwire for the Democrats. While their lapdogs and the legacy media are obsessing over trying desperately to connect Trump to Epstein, the actual documented connections that are coming out for all to see are actually between Epstein and Obama's people. Multiple members of his administration, senior advisors, and current members of Congress. The emails show coordination, they show ongoing relationships, and they show alarmingly casual comfort with a known sexual predator. So what's happening here? Well, next week, Congress will be voting on releasing all the Epstein files. And ironically, it's the Republicans who are suddenly demanding transparency. Democrats, in the meantime, have suddenly seemed to lose their enthusiasm to have all the files released. They just want to continue to cherry pick through them and release only those that mention Trump without any of them having any explicit connection to Epstein's nefarious practices, and none of them will.
Nope.
But
Release them all
too
now.
late for the Democrats. They wanted to make Epstein the major issue in D.C. Well, they're getting it. And as a result, now it's high-level Democrats, even a former Democrat president, who are the ones that will have everything to lose. Game, set, match, Trump.
Bang. This is what the man does. All right. Thanks for watching. I love it. Here at the People's Desk. Put your comments below and let me know what you think. Barack Hussein Obama, pack your shit. You're going to the feds, baby. There ain't no immunity for sex offense. Aha. Even Bill Clinton couldn't get that put in the Constitution. Crap. Piece of crap. All right, guys. No more protecting sex offenders. It looks like the president's getting ready to give y'all wish. You all want the Epstein files? You're getting ready to get it. And a lot of people getting ready to go to jail. Be prepared. I'll see you on the next one. I love y'all. I'm out.